Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another tier list, another month, another tier list, the June list, and we will be featuring Moondragon and Adam Warlock, the two champions released of May 2023. Before we get into any of the rankings, the tier list has undergone some construction, and I'm gearing up for a big construction for the next list, which I'll give you guys a little teaser of what that's going to be. So if we go all the way to the bottom here, we got a new tier. So it's the above all tier. And there's only 5 spots for each class. Now, not all 5 spots need to be filled, but no more than 5 champions can be in this tier in one class at a given time. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for the next tier list. I kind of wanted to run it by you guys first, see what you guys' thoughts are on that. So let me know what you think about it, and if there's any champion you think should be going in there, let me know. And then one other really big change to the list for this iteration is, now we've had the launch of 7 stars. So now that definitely has some factors on the tier list. So I've added a new emoji here. It's a juice box. And so it represents 7-star juice. Now what that means basically is just that if a champion is available as a 7-star, that can kind of juice their way up the tier list. That could maybe warrant a promotion just for that sole reason. 7 stars are extremely powerful. Right out the box, a rank 1 level 25 is a little bit above a rank 4 6-star, which is a very big deal. That's a very big deal. It's a very big base level of power plus stat focus. Stat focus is a very powerful mechanic that only 7 stars have access to, where they can juice up one of their stats either offensively and defensively, one on each. So the 7 stars, there can definitely open up a new argument for promotions to every champ that has a 7-star. Now, not every 7-star got promoted, but some did, and some promotions were. A driving factor of that promotion was because they were a 7-star. I've also changed just some of the text on some of these. So this before it said needed awakening ability, now it's just wants awakening ability. And then the synergy, I think before it was synergy reliance. Now I just have it as a powerful synergy, holder. And then before it was recoil reliance, I think. Now I just put recoil friendly, so just suicide friendly. It's just a couple technical changes there. But yeah, so that should be about it for the intro. One last thing is just, these tier lists are just meant to be a rough guide for the massive game that MCOC has become. We have like 250 playable champions now. That is so many. So the tier list is just kind of to help you keep track of all that, maybe help with your rank up decisions a little bit, or, a next decision in a crystal, something like that. It's a rough guide, right? Not the MCOC Bible. And just to go over some colors real quick. So this bright red orange color means there's a promotion. This dookie looking color means there's a demotion, and this blue means it's a champion's debut on the tier list. So all right, let's go ahead, get into it, and just start things off in the skill class with Moondragon, or as some people like to call her, Moony D. I don't know about that nickname, but yeah, so Moondragon is landing in the Celestial tier for her debut, which is very impressive, very, very high rank. She does have a couple emojis here, which is the mechanical muscle, which means she wants to be awakened. You get access to unblockable specials with the awakened ability, which is very, very nice. Blockable specials. I love unblockable specials so much because it just takes off so much pressure I find playing a champion. Like, I can throw the special anytime I want. I don't have to, it's not this tiny window that I need to hit every time, or it'll be parried. Unblockable specials are fantastic. Then we also have the Ninja Cat here, because she does require some skill to play. She's very similar to Mantis, but the reason why Mantis doesn't require as much skill is because Mantis can manipulate the AI herself, with her Intimidate debuffs and Infuriate effects. Whereas Moondragon doesn't have those in her kit, but she still does want to do stuff like Intercept, so you kind of have to have the skills to play her on your own. And then also has the hammer, because she does require a little bit of build-up. But man, oh man, I was really, really impressed by Moondragon. I didn't think I was going to be. I didn't think I was going to like her at all based off reading her kit and everything. But then I started to play her, and she felt really, really good to play, man. The playstyle felt good. The damage output for the playstyle felt fantastic. And the utility, actually, the utility was really, really nice. If we go ahead and hop over to Aunt May real quick here and take a look at her, we can go ahead and be here. So yeah, the awaken ability here is all about those unblockables. The rest of this not as important. And then this ability here. So she reduces the potency of incoming bleed, power sting, degeneration, and poison effects from champions or quest buffs by 30%. Now, when I first read that, I was very underwhelmed. I'm like, what is that? Like, these are super weak immunities. I don't like how it's, it's just not full immune to this. It's not as simple as that. And I didn't like it at first. But then, once she gets built up into psionic transcendence, she gains some more stuff here. So she purifies all the debuffs, which is really great. And then she also gains more to those immunities. So reduce the potency of the incoming bleeds by an additional 50% for the bleed, the power sting, the degen, and the poison. So 50% plus the base 30%, you're getting 80% of reduction for all of that, all those effects. That's actually a really big deal. It's a really big deal. She also has some evade countering here. So once you actually play her, build her up, like, this gives her a lot of utility for all kinds of different matchups, and I think she's really, really going to excel in Battlegrounds specifically. I've already seen, I think it was Nick136 was using her in a tournament match, and it was really, really impressive. She was doing a great job, and that was just mainly with her damage, not to mention, again, this utility. You can counter champions like, for example, Immortal Abomination, with that, countering to the poison and the debuff purification when entering Transcendence. Just altogether, I think we just got like a bit of a overshadowed champion this month because of Adam Warlock, but she's solid. Like, Adam was looking so good. I really didn't think Mooney D here was going to be all that special, but she surprised me. We did a live streaming, some testing, and yeah, I was very impressed. So I think she solidly lands in that Celestial tier, which is a really good spot to debut in the tier list. Very like that's impressive to debut in this spot. So yeah, Moondragon's gonna land there for the first iteration, her first debut on the tier list. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you agree? Do you think she should maybe land in God tier? Do you think she maybe should land in Omnipotent tier? I'd really love to hear what you guys think about that. All right, let's go ahead and now move on to Adam Warlock. So moving on down to the Cosmic class, and we have Adam Warlock debuting in the Omnipotent tier. Now, not many champions have done that. Absorbing Man, I think, debuted in that tier because he's that good. And Adam also debuting in that tier. But Adam is a very, very unique champion that Kabam has released. Right as soon as they teased us with some of the gameplay, with official Kabam gameplay that it was insane. It was very, very impressive. It does make sense, though, because Adam Warlock is this extremely, extremely powerful character in the comics. And Kabam decided to finally break the mold of, okay, let's make a powerful cosmic champ in the comics actually powerful in MCOC. Normally they don't do that. Normally we get really, really powerful cosmic champs and they turn out like, Silver Surfer or Phoenix. Where's Phoenix? Way down here. Or Thanos, or Groot. Just, so many cosmic champions, or, Annihilus. Annihilus is like the ruler of like his own dimension or something. And Odin, he's the All-Father. So Kabam has definitely dropped the ball with some cosmic champions in the past, but they definitely did not drop the ball with Adam Warlock. They did a fantastic job with him. Now, he does have two emojis here. The shield means he's a good defender. Adam is a solid defender. I don't think he is as good of a defender, for example, as Gallon or Hulkling. I don't think he's quite on that level of defensive abilities, but he's still really good on defense. And the pod can really mess people up. Plus, he does have some ability to counter the Mystics with the Sovereign active, which is very nice. But then he also has another emoji here, and that's the Ninja Cat, which means he takes some skill to play. And I wouldn't even say it is skill, but I'd say it's the main thing is he's very stressful to play. I'd say that's the best way to describe Adam Warlock. He is just extremely stressful to play because you need to stay just uberly super aggressive. But if you can do that, the payoff is very nice. And if you can't do that, the penalty is not that severe. It just your sovereign goes on cooldown for like 10 seconds. You just gotta wait that out. Boom, then you can start again, try again. So it's stressful, but it's also not super punishing. So it's a nice balance there. And yeah, I really highly rate Adam Warlock. He has the damage for sure. He can get almost guaranteed crits with the precision that he gets active. Just all you see is crits. He has so many access to fury buffs, very, very potent fury buffs as well. So you get these crits, you get these furies, and you are just hitting like an absolute truck. You're also unblockable for the entire time, so you don't have to worry about, you know, parrying, baiting heavies, trying to get these openings. No, you just unblockable. You just go. And then he also does have some really nice utility, especially paired with the pod. So let's jump back to Aunt May and talk about that a little bit more. Open up his abilities there. So Adam, I definitely do not think that he needs to be awakened. The awakened ability gives him some regen in the pod, which at max sig, it's 10% of missing health, which is really nice. Don't get me wrong. That's really, really nice. But it's just definitely not needed to play the character. And then the other part of the awakened ability is that when you strike into his pod, you get stunned. Now this is definitely really good on defense. If they happen to hit into his pod, they're going to get stunned. That would definitely mess him up. And it's good on offense too and create openings. But again, definitely not at all needed to be playing this character. But speaking of the pod, that is one of the weirdest mechanics we've seen added to the game in a long time. And it's really cool. Basically, the pod is just like this. You can kind of think of it as like Kitty's phasing, or, you know, Herc's mortality, kind of like that, where you can go into this mode where you're kind of indestructible, but it's not quite as powerful. It's not like first indestructibility, but it's nice. When you get hit, you take the damage, but then you heal it back pretty much instantly. It's what it really actually is. The way I really like to think about the pod is it's pretty much the ultimate taunt. Pretty much the ultimate taunt in the entire game. And so the pod is very powerful, but it can only be triggered once per fight manually. When you're using him offensively, you just double tap your block and it activates. You can only do that once, can't do it again. You can do it in the next fight one more time, but once per fight. But however, your special 2, at the end of your special 2, you enter the pod every single time. So you technically have unlimited pod entries as long as you're using your special 2. And like I said, the pod is basically the ultimate taunt. So what this looks like in reality is every time you throw the special 2 into your opponent, like every single time I've played Adam, every single time I've used a special 2 and the opponent has had above a bar of power, they've thrown it. Like, I kid you not, every single time. It is the ultimate taunt. So you throw your special 2, you enter the pod, then they throw their special into the pod, you heal all that back, boom, their special is gone. It's really, really nice. It's really, really nice. I really enjoy playing Adam. Again, he's just a little stressful, but it's worth. And then, oh yeah, and then not to mention, he does have some more utility with the pod. So when you manually enter the pod, you get a where is it? I don't know where it's listed here, but here it is. So when entering the stasis pod, you gain an energy protection buff, granting immunity to shock, incinerate, cold snap, and frostbite for 60 seconds. That is a very long duration. That's an extremely long duration to be immune to all this. And you can just start the fight, you know, if there's shock, incinerate, or cold snap being active, double tap block, boom, you're immune. You're immune. You're good. You purify it, you're immune. But like I said, you don't activate that once. But again, with the subsequent activations of the pod with Special 2, it's limited to only 2 seconds. But that's still really good because, again, if you have any of those debuffs on you, boom, they'll be instantly shrugged after you use that Special 2. It's only for 2 seconds, but 2 seconds is more than long enough to get rid of whatever is on you. So that's where Adam has his utility as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump back to the spreadsheet. And yeah, that is Adam Warlock landing in the Omnipotent tier with his debut. and that is the reasoning behind it. Moondragon, Adam Warlock, fantastic May additions to the contest. Alright, now let's go ahead and do this class by class, starting with Mystic. Alright guys, we're back now into the Mystic class. So we've had a few promotions here, which is very exciting. So there's a couple comments asking for Dormammu and Purgatory to move up. So I was like, you know, I got you guys. I got you. From B to A, sure. But then we had some very big promotions. We've also had a lot of juice box emojis added here to the Mystic class in the high tiers of the Mystic class, which is really great to see. And dude, honestly, I have a 7-star. I have enough shards for a 7-star basic right now. I don't know when I'm gonna open it, but I'm really hoping to just get literally any Mystic champ. Any Mystic champ is a really good pull, I think. Especially they're just good to go on defense out the gate. I'd really love a 7-star Mystic. The only one I currently have is Sasquatch, which is fantastic, but I'd love to get another one or dupe him. So yeah, a lot of juice boxes here, and we've had 2 promotions. So Hood, I kind of talked about this in the last tier list, and there's a lot of comments talking about Hood and Wiccan, which is really great to read. And Hood, we also added the Ninja Cat emoji to him because Hood definitely does take some skill to play. If you play Hood optimally, playing with his miss mechanic and everything, you can finish fights with a full yellow bar, which is really nice and very, very good for battlegrounds. You can also do it quite quickly. Hood is definitely, his battlegrounds prowess on attack definitely has helped him get to this tier. And again, I've also felt that I can be a little bit more lenient with adding champs to this tier now because, like I said, we are having that new tier for the next tier list above this tier, the above all tier. So I feel like I'd be a little bit more lenient in adding champs now. But yeah, Hood makes it here. And then the Wiccan promotion. So this promotion was juiced, helped a bit by him being a 7-star. Wiccan being available as a 7-star definitely helped him get this promotion. And there's a lot of comments hyping up Wiccan and talking about how great he is, just countering so many Cosmic Champions, and I can't disagree. So, yeah, Wiccan also lands in this Omnipotent tier with Hood, but this is getting a little bit crowded, so I am very excited for the next tier list to make some changes. But alright, that's the Mystic class. Let's go ahead and move on to the Mutant class. So, this was actually the first promotion that I did based on, like, I promoted Sunspot, and I think that's also the same time I added this emoji. It was Sunspot Sunspot and this emoji kind of happened at the same time. So I was like, I want to promote Sunspot, and I need a good reason. Him being a 7-star, that's a good reason. So that's kind of how it came to be. And yeah, I think 7-star Sunspot, like, I had Sunspot and Gotcha before. I think Sunspot just a little lacking compared to a lot of these other champions, especially in utility. I think that's where Sunspot lacks. But him being a 7-star makes up for that lack of utility enough to bridge the gap and put him in the Celestial tier. So he makes it there. And he's also got the double sword emoji here, which just means Sunspot is a pure attacker, one of the worst defenders in the entire game. And then we had one other promotion from the Celestial tier to the Omnipotent tier, and that is Professor X. There's a few comments talking about Professor X and how good he is, and honestly, the biggest reason for this promotion is one of my officers in BG3 and 4 Loki. His name is Manuel. He uses Professor X to take a ridiculous amount of fights, and ridiculously hard fights, including boss fights, and he just shreds them with this Professor X. So I can't argue with results. So man, he got promoted. That's the main reason. Shout out to Manuel, giving Professor X the recognition he deserves. All right, that was a quick one. Let's go ahead and now move on to the Science class. So some big changes in the Science class, guys. Some big changes. So we had another 7-star influential promotion here, and that is Joe freaking Fixit. Now, like I've said before, this tier list, I guess I should have said this at the start of the video, I forgot, but before I make any new tier list, I go back to the previous tier list, which had almost 69k views, which is awesome, and over 200 comments. I read all the comments and then use those comments to make changes for the next iteration, and there was definitely a couple of Joe Fixit comments. I've also seen a lot of Joe Fixit more in Battlegrounds, and especially, again, Nick136, shout out to that dude. He loves Joe Fixit. He's done some crazy stuff with that Joe. But personally, I hate Joe Fixit. I hate him. I hate him. But again, I don't want my personal bias to get in the way too much of this tier list, so I got to put that aside and promote him. And the fact that Joe Fixit is a 7-star helped to juice him to this tier. So that's Joe Fixit finally getting the recognition I know a lot of you thinks he deserves, and I can't disagree. I just personally don't like the guy. That's it. But all right, then we had some other promotions, some big promotions. So Spider-Man 2099 decided to finally promote this guy. Again, I feel like I can be a little bit more lenient with these promotions. And Spider-Man 2099 is a great champ. Plus, Across the Spider-Verse is coming out, and he's going to be in there. So that's also a little bit why I promoted him, because I'm really excited to see him on the big screen. But I can't deny the power of Spider-Man 2099. He is a really, really great champ. I definitely got to add the synergy icon to him. I feel like he is a little bit held back, a little synergy reliant with Anti-Venom, with that synergy that lets him start with the Wither active. I feel like without that synergy, he wouldn't be nearly as highly rated as he is in the community, which I really don't love characters, that just have a synergy that you really always want to bring. I prefer champs that don't need any synergies. They have synergies, and they maybe give them a little bit here or there, but I just hate when a champion, like, you just feel the need to bring along someone else to play them. I'm just really not a fan of champions like that. But again, I can't deny the power that synergy does bring him, especially in Alliance War. Spider-Man 2099 is an absolute menace in War. He even got the boss node changed because he was just too good for it. So that's impressive. But again, he does have the double sword emoji, which basically means this dude is just a pure attacker. You put this guy in defense, he's not going to do a single thing. And other great things about Spider-Man 2099, he is buff immune. It's a really solid just base piece of utility. And his damage source is Ruptures, which there's only one champion in the entire game that is immune to Ruptures, that's Scorpion. So you're not really going to be bringing Spidey 99 against Scorpions anyways. So yeah, great damage source. He gets promoted to the Omnipotent tier. And then we have Titania. Now it's funny because when I was reading back the comments on the previous tier list, I read back one of my month-old comments, and it was about Titania. And someone had said, Titania should be promoted. And I was like, yo, I have a rank 4 C200 Titania, and I just don't think she's quite on the same level as those other science champs. And I totally meant that when I said it, and I still do. But the 7-star juice was enough to get Titania into this tier. I personally have a 7-star Titania. She's right here. And I was a little disappointed when I first pulled her, because again, I have the rank 4 already at C200. But I'm not disappointed anymore, dude. The 7-star Titania has been growing on me. I'm really happy I pulled her. I think she's a very, very powerful science champ. I want to say one of the best 7-star science champs. But I mean, Overseer, he's got that juice too, and Hulk, he's also got that juice. Hulk's pretty good too after that buff. So I don't know, but Titania, I'm really happy to have her as a 7-star, and because she's 7-star, it's juiced her to that spot. She's also buff immune, which is really nice. She's also not the worst defender. She has some of the highest female health pool in the game, and she does take a little bit of skill to play with her haymakers, doing those combos correctly. I see a lot of people play Titania, and they're not playing her optimally. Which, what I mean by that is they're not using the haymakers to get the most hits that they could with it. But when she's played optimally, man, and when the RNG kind of lines up with the defender not throwing their special after special 3, it's pretty goddamn nuts. And yeah, she gets that Omnipotent tier. So that's a science class, some big promotions there. Let's go move on to the tech class. So nothing too crazy here, only 2 promotions. We also got some more juice, on these 7-stars. I feel like the 7-star tech champs are probably one of the most underwhelming classes for 7-stars, personally. But Guillotine 2099, she used to be in this tier, and then she got demoted, and the demotion never really sat right with me, because I think Guillotine 2099 is a very, very powerful champion. She just hasn't been given the right spotlight to shine. I think that's the best way to say it. But she is a 7-star now, so that's with that 7-star juice. I put her back in this tier, man. I'd love to pull a 7-star Gilly. She does not need to be awakened, so man, that would be such a good pull right out the box. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, she does require build up, but oh my god, a fully built up ET2099 probably has the most damage in the entire game. So think about that. That's impressive. There's only like even like three to five champions that like are really up there when fully built up, have that kind of damage, and I think she's number 1. So like that's impressive. There's just no content to really show that off or to get there. And then we also have a Viv Vision promotion. So I love seeing this when a new champion. She started off in the God tier in the previous tier list, and now she's getting promoted because I've seen a lot of really good things. She is one of the only 2 champions that I am missing from the current featured, her and Cassie, unfortunately. But I've seen some really good stuff with Viv. She is definitely a champion that you. There's a couple comments on Viv as well, and this guy said it really well. She's a champion that you really, it's all or nothing. You either fully invest, take her to 6200, and really put in the time and practice to learn how to play her, or you just don't. You don't use her, you don't put anything into her, and you don't practice, and you're not going to get anything out of her. So she's really an all-or-nothing champion, which is why she has wants high sig or max sig and the Ninja Cat, because you got to play a little bit weirdly. You want to be parrying to activate your miss mechanic, which is very unique. I'd really love to get my hands on a Viv Vision so I can try it for myself, but from what I've seen and heard, I feel like this promotion is warranted. Kabam has been doing a phenomenal job on the 2023 champs. They're not really missing, except for Sandman. I'd say that was a bit of a miss. The rest, they've been all hits. So Viv Vision landed the Celestial tier. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the skill class. And since we just talked about Viv Vision, let's talk about her counterpart, Kate Bishop. So this again, Kate Bishop, she started right where Moondragon is in the Celestial tier, and now she's being promoted to the Omnipotent tier. And it was really cool to kind of see. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Kate Bishop because of the quick release mechanic and personal bias here. When she came out, you know, the whole Danger Room things, she may have killed me a few times as a defender, and that kind of made me hate her. So again, personal bias there. But when the really crazy thing is when the feature came out, you know, my heart, my mind, everything was set on Baron Zemo. Zemo. You know, originally I was planning on taking him right to rank 5, Sig 200. And a lot of other people were as well. But what a lot of other people were doing was taking Kate Bishop straight to rank 5, Sig 200 over Zemo. And I was like, huh? Why? Like, what? Then I started to see some gameplay. Shout out to T Jarvis. He sent me a video of Kate Bishop fighting Hulkling. And you guys know how I hate fighting Hulkling. And Hulkling's regen is just insane. And Kate was just dealing with it, man. Her passive cold snap damage was just doing the job. So I can't argue with the facts. And the facts are Kate Bishop is an extremely powerful champion, regardless of if I like her or not. And I think she deserves this tier. I know a lot of other skilled players that I really respect that really invested in her, took her all the way up. So that's really saying something to me. So I think this upgrade was a no-brainer. And also, I think it's pretty impressive for DLL that the 2 champions that he's made so far are both in my current highest tiers. So I think that's props to him for making good champs. So that's Kate Bishop. Then we had a demotion here. The only demotion on the list, Kraven. I was just looking at this list, at this tier. I'm like, Kraven just does not feel like he belongs in here. So I demoted him. I don't see anyone ever use Kraven, ever talk about Kraven. The only person that's ever talked about Kraven that I saw was Karate Mike, and that was a while ago. I don't see him talking about him anymore, especially now that we have Mantis and all these other skill champs. So yeah, Kraven. Yeah, I just don't think he deserves this tier, so I demoted him. I don't know what you guys think about that. Then we had a couple promotions, and so both of these promotions were again fueled by that 7-star juice. So Elsa Bloodstone and Mantis going up from the God tier to the Celestial tier. Elsa Elsa's a very unique champ, and I think her coming as a 7-star has really kind of shown how powerful she actually is, which is great to see. I wouldn't mind getting myself a 7-star Elsa. And then Mantis. Mantis, I've always been a big fan of, and I think I might have promoted and demoted her before, but the fact that she's a 7-star now, that juices her up to this spot, and I think it's well deserved, because I've seen some 7-star Mantis gameplay, especially in Battlegrounds, and it's just bonkers. That's the best way to put it, just bonkers. Even just her base damage is nice, not even the special 2. Like, really solid stuff out of Mantis, and with that 7-star juice, I think she deserves this spot. Alright, now let's go ahead and move on to the final class, which is Cosmic. And yeah, not too much change here. We already talked about Adam making his way to that tier. And there's really only one other change, one promotion. So that's Gamora going from the God tier to the Celestial tier. So, and again, this was a rank up or a promotion fueled by that 7-star juice. Man, a 7-star Gamora, ooh, she's going to be hitting hard. She's going to be hitting extremely hard. That stat focus as well, pretty nice. I definitely should put this onto Gamora here. She's definitely, you know, a pure attacker type champion. There we go. Yeah, Gamora, she's not really probably going to do too much for you on defense, although her animations did technically change, so that could throw off someone maybe, but I doubt it. So, yeah, Gamora landing into the Celestial tier, mainly due to the 7-star juice. I think the only reason Gamora wasn't in this tier before is because she's a little bit more lacking on the utility side of things. The damage is great. The damage is fantastic. No complaints there. But the utility side of things, a little on the lacking side, but I think the 7-star juice was enough to propel her to this tier. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with any of the promotions, or you know, anything you want to see changed, any icons that I should be adding to any given champion. And again, a little bit of a tease for the next tier list. It will include the above all tier, so there's going to be some subtractions from this tier and some additions here, which I'm very excited about. I already have some ideas, but I haven't given it too much thought yet. I thought it would be best to save that for the next tier list. That'll technically be the halfway point of the year as well, so it'll be good to switch things up you know, half a year into these tier lists. And also, we already had a big addition of the 7-star juice for this tier list, so didn't want to change too much all at once. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this list. Moondragon and Adam Warlock, fantastic additions to the contest. Let me know if you guys agree with these rankings, if you disagree with anything. Like I said, I read every single comment on these tier lists. If you want me to read your comment, this is the best type of video to leave it on, because I read every single comment before making the next one in preparation. I really appreciate all your guys' feedback. It's what makes these lists possible, and which has made, I feel like the tier list is in a really good place now, and that's all because of your guys' help. So thank you for all the help and support on these tier lists, guys. It's truly appreciate it. That's a lot of talking. That's going to do it for this video. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Hit the little bell if you want to be notified when we go live. That's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support. Hope you have a great day. Peace out. Also, little Adam Funko. Bye.